Temples and taboos, patriarchy and periods, courts and culture. You've probably heard a lot of these words lately in the media, in dining room conversations, and of course on social networking sites. Entry for women in places of public worship is a hotly contested debate at the moment, with a number of points and counterpoints. This week on Culture Express, we shall try to make sense of all that has been said about this issue and take a look at the fulcrum of this controversy of culture. The current debate surrounding the entry of women in temples was sparked by a gender equality activist named Trupti Desai. She founded the Bhumata Brigade in 2010 in Pune and has been fighting corruption and injustice against women through her organization. She came into the spotlight in January 2016 when she demanded entry into the inner sanctum of the Shani temple for women at Shani Shingnapur at Ahmednagar in Maharashtra. After initial resistance, the temple authorities altered the centuries-long custom and lifted the ban against women climbing on the platform upon which the deity rests. This was partly a result of court directives and partly public pressure. The movement has triggered similar agitations in other places of public worship, such as the Ayyappa temple at Sabrimala in Kerala, the Trimbakeshwar temple at Nasik, and the Haji Ali Dargah in Mumbai. The courts of law are constitutionally bound to support these demands, as entry into temples is one of the basic rights of an Indian citizen. According to the Maharashtra Hindu Places of Public Worship Entry Authorization Act of 1956, no Hindu of whatsoever section or class shall in any manner be prevented, obstructed, or discouraged from entering place of public worship or from worshipping or offering prayers or performing a religious service. The Act prescribes a punishment of 6 months in jail for anyone prohibiting any person from entering a temple. The Maharashtra Protection of People from Social Boycott, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2016 also ensures that no individual should suffer from any form of social censure. However, many other temples in India, such as the Kartikeya temple at Pehova in Haryana, the Sri Krishna temple at Malayankizu, Kerala, the Jain temple at Ranakpur in Rajasthan, continue to disallow women into their inner precincts. The problem, as we all know, cannot entirely be solved judicially. Legal laws and social laws can be frightfully apart sometimes. Law enforcement can be a beginning, but a true change in customs and mindsets may take decades. Centuries of cultural conditioning and a patriarchal social system have relegated women into a secondary position. Religious institutions as centers of power are a classical example of such discrimination. These acts are justified with the help of religious texts and their often skewed interpretations or reasons, such as the presence of a celibate or malevolent god. Women are not allowed to access certain areas within a temple, perform many rituals, touch the deities, or be elected into positions of authority in religious institutions. These practices have gone on for so long that they've acquired a sort of inviolability. It would help to remind ourselves that all kinds of laws are but man-made. The first and the biggest reason for the exclusion of women from certain religious places and practices is menstruation. The taboos around menstruation are almost universal. The revulsion for bodily fluids in general and menstrual blood in particular has caused social isolation for women across cultures. The idea of purity is especially significant here, as menstruating women are considered impure and thus unqualified to handle pure religious spiritual affairs. Tantric practices where menstruating women are considered sacred are an exception. In the ascetic or monastic traditions, the woman is seen as the great seductress who will distract a man from his spiritual mission. Indian mythology is rife with stories of apsaras who routinely seduce rishis to disrupt and nullify their tapasya. The idea is to get the man to spill and lose his seed, which is related to spiritual potency. The fact that men can control the ejaculation of their sexual fluids as opposed to women whose menstrual ejaculations are involuntary forms the basis of gender superiority of men. This was not always the case though. In most ancient cultures, there are instances of mother goddess cults. In those primitive religions, high priestesses often presided over temples and rituals dedicated to earth and fertility goddesses. A woman's reproductive and regenerative powers were objects of both awe and admiration. Anthropologists and historians suggest that this axis of gender power shifted only when settled societies, joint families, and ideas of kingship began to evolve. As patriarchy took root, the idea of women's impurity was played up to subjugate them. The society we live in today is the culmination of these social ideals where women do not get their due. Just putting Devis up on pedestals is not enough. Tell me if you agree, disagree, or have a completely different point of view in the comments below. And if you like this video, do share the video, subscribe to my channel, and talk to me on my Facebook and Twitter pages. Namaste.